So we discussed in the last class that Samadhi is not a mere state, but also it is a matter of understanding. If you look at only Samadhi, that is a matter of state without understanding, then what will happen? The person will get into Samadhi, again will come back and will continue the way supposed to be. That's why the Samadhi to be achieved, or you can say Samadhi takes place when a yogi, a sadhaka goes through this series starting with that mainly Shadhanga. And interestingly, when this was being talked, we also saw verse number 91, Yuktahara Viharasya, Yukta Cheshtasya Karmashu, Yukta Supnavavadhasya Yogi Bhavati Dukkha iti. So that means everything is moderate. So there is nothing to exaggerate. Because remember, whenever in life, if we do anything extreme, definitely that is going to create some type of imbalances in our life. This is very simple. And here, there is nothing called, extreme. Everything is moderate in short. So then the question may arise, how the person will live the life. So what is all about it? And moreover, that when we look at this person, how the person lives also afterwards. Niradyantam niralambam, nisprapancham nirasmayam, nirashrayam nirakaram, tattvam janati yogavite. So the yogavit, the knower of yoga, knows the tattvam, knows the truth. Truth of what? As a common person, always look for mithya prapancha world. Like a child always will be fascinated whatever is attractive, whatever is colorful. If you observe, especially childhood, I remember in our childhood, because these are the examples really helps a lot. Like starting with currency. Because as a child, those days we didn't see currency, very less currency was there. So coins, that too from 1 paisa onwards. And we were acquainted with the coins, because when we take the coin to the shop, that fellow gives us what? Chocolate or whatever we want. Now, if anybody gives us currency, we don't accept. Because for the child, currency has no value, because the child has not understood the importance of the currency. You understand what I am trying to say? Whereas the coin is being given, so happy. You understand the concept, how it works. I'll give you another example, very nice, if anybody has seen. In our Tulasidas Ashram, there is one Pandit, very nice person, boy, really. Okay. So, his mind is not really functioning properly. That's why I did namaskaram to him. So, his mind is stuck somewhere. If he is getting, for example's sake, that 5,000 rupees per month for honorarium. So if you say, no, I'll give you 10,000. No, I don't want 10,000. I want only 5,000. I have so many commitments. He will say, I have got so many commitments. How can I manage with 10,000? No, I want only 5,000. Okay, please, I request you, don't reduce from that. Okay, if you want, I can give you some bribe also from that. I will give you 10,000. No, no, no. I want only 5,000. Okay. So it really, we sometimes don't laugh at the way he talks, very seriously, very nicely. Okay, look at ourselves. We are also stuck with something or other. And how we are adamant. And of course, the wise person will start laughing at us or not. What is happening? So look at these two examples. One is a child stuck, which whatever way is exposed. Whereas this elderly person, even though is exposed, but stuck mentally. And because the person is mentally stuck, cannot think more than that. So here is being said, yoga with, the one who is the knower of yoga, tattvam janati. So what is tattva and why? Because remember, when a person knows tattva, so the truth here is what? I am someone, neither I have beginning nor I have end. Because I need to also understand very carefully. If I look at that I am based on Vishishtadvaita, that I am part of Ishvara, or you can say if you look at you are a soul. Means, what is the soul definition? Both Sukshma Sarira and Karana Sarira put together is called soul. Okay? Now, if you consider that you are a soul, that means what? You don't have Adi. Anadi, but not Ananta. So technically, can you see this point? So that's why here, I am Anadi, also I am Ananta. So that's why it is Adyanta Rahitamiti, Niradyantam. Not only that, second is Niralambam. A common person always depends upon, without alambaram, without support, the person cannot function in life. That's why we create a support system. And finally, whether we support the support system or support system support us, that is a big question mark, okay? It is exactly like it happens, the popular story. The Mahatma in Rishikesh, those days, before winter coming, so thought, something is black floating, maybe a blanket, so let me get in so that I can protect myself, that too in the winter, coming winter, okay, projected future. And gets into, and when tries to, catch this black thing, finally that black thing doesn't leave. You know the story, okay? So instead of protecting the body, now this fellow's life is in danger. So the support system that we create to support us, but in reality, whether that supports us or we only end up supporting and supporting, that your prarabdha will explain, nothing else. This is from my experience, okay? Coming back to the point. So, niralambam. So, alambana sunyam iti. Nisprapancham. The truth is what? Nisprapancha. So, that means what? Generally, people are interested to know the truth of the prapancha, this universe. The universe that is always changing, ever-changing universe. What is the truth of that? They say very nicely that the momentarily change is called truth of the universe. But if you try to hold on to universe, what is there? So that's why the person who is free from understanding prapancha or the truth of prapancha, called nisprapancha, the person does not depend upon. Niramayam also. So that means what? Also the person is completely free. Very simple. At the same time, that nirasrayam, no asrayam. And of course, nirakaram also does not depend upon any akara, any form either, because knows the truth of this. Continuing. Then how the person looks? Nirmalam, nischalam, nityam. Niskriyam nirgunam mahat vyoma vijnanam anandam brahmam brahma vido. And of course, Yogavid here is Brahmavid also. Brahmavidaha viduhu. So that means what? So yoga and Brahma here both are same. So the one who is yoga, knower of yoga, also knower of Brahman. That's why this samadhi means both practice and understanding. Not mere practice, not mere understanding. And he says, that is what? Here, please understand. So, he who knows. So, what knows? Brahman. That person is called Brahmavida. So, what sort of Brahman? That which is nirmalam, free from mala, impurities. Nishchalam means immovable. There is no movement at all. Nityam, eternal. Niskriyam, kriya shunyamiti. So there is no activities. Free from nirgunam, free from all gunas, qualities. Mahat, the great. Because being the cause. Vyoma, vijnanam, anandam iti. And which is in the form of space. And vijnana rupam iti. So vijnanam means, here we use the word vijnanam, not science. So vijnanam, that's why they put it science means practical knowledge. So here vijnanam means anu bhuta jnanam iti. So anubhuta jnanam means the knowledge with confirmation. So conformity comes when you have what? Anubhava. And that anubhava means experience. And it should be not anubhava mere, it should be anubhuta. So there is a difference between anubhava and anubhuta. Because one is connected to me, subjective, other one is connected to objective. So that's why we need to have experience that is object related, not related to me. That's why if the meditation becomes my orientation, related to me, then what happens? Today meditation is very good, tomorrow no. Day after tomorrow don't ask. So that's why he says Vijnanam and Ananda Swarupam iti. The happiness. Continuing. Hetu drishtanta nirmuktam manobudhyora gocharam vyoma vijnanam anandam tattum vido. So now again he plays the same, word. One is yoga, yogavid, brahma, brahmavid, tattva, tattvavid. So all these three are same, and last line there is not much difference. But he says, look, generally, we are stuck with Karya and Karana effect. In fact, because we are stuck with Karya, the product, then we look for the cause called Karana. So the whole, our process of thinking is limited to this Karya Karana Sambandha. That's why anything happens, first I try to find out the reason, rather accepting the situation. Can you see this point? Whenever anything happens, first we do what we do. First, do we accept the situation or we try to find out the reason? And more we try to find out, more we go crazy or not? Just observe this point. Because the mind is designed in that way that always talk with Karya Karana Sambandha. And when this Karya Karana Sambandha is a predominant in me, so anytime and every time I look for the cause and effect relationship. Why happened? Why it did not happen? How to happen? What is to be done? What is not to be done? Just let us look at ourselves, each one of us. We have been analyzing and analyzing. When the last moment will come, can you analyze? Will your analysis work? Just observe some people. When their last time comes, how helpless they are. In fact, they helplessly give up. They cannot say accept it. They have to allow it to happen. Just be part of the flow somehow. So then, what is wrong with it? So now here he says, let me not get into that. Hetu drishtanta nirmuktam iti. So the one who is free from both what? That the cause and the example effect. Mano buddhi agocharam iti. Mano buddhyor agocharam. And also, what is that? This person knows what? That which is not to be understood by mind and intellect. But I want to know everything through my mind and intellect. See, when I cannot know my mind, I need a psychologist, okay? And with due respect, if you ask the psychologist, they themselves will say, sorry, I don't know myself, okay? I need another psychologist. Very interesting thing happens, okay? But it works. But chain works, okay? Don't worry. And of course, here it says, Vyoma Vijnanam Anandam. The last line is that whatever was there before, that person indeed is called what? Called as Tattvavid iti. Okay, fine, all these things. Then what is going to happen? All this is fantastic, but I want to know how my life will be. Niratanke niralambe, niradhare niramaye, yogi yoga vidhanena, pare brahmani liyate. And how? Next verse also together. Yatha ghrute ghrutam kshiptam, घृतमेव हि जायते क्षीरं क्षीरे तथा योगी तत्त्वमेव हि जायते. He says, look, the person is free from all atanka, niratanka. So that means atanka means, so you really don't feel anything to be challenged, to be threatened. So, neither, what you call a country, that, because this is a very big statement I am making it, okay? Imagine a country which is free from terrorism. How peaceful would be. And not only external terrorism, internal terrorism also, okay? Like free from corruption, free from bribe, free from terrorism, free from everything. How it would be? So where dharma predominates. You know, if you do right, you will get the things. If you do wrong, you know, you will get back. How it would be? And state of mind of people in that country, what would be? A few years back, when few hundred years back, we were all the whole world was like that, okay? Now, don't ask, okay? So that's why he says that niratanke, niralambe also. So again, alambana rahitam, so without depending upon anything. Niradhara, and also without any support, because the foundation itself. Niramaya, so that means, niramaya means pure iti, vishuddham ityartha. And yogi, says, that person here, what happens? That yogi, yoga vidhanena, the yogi, by following the given procedure that we have been discussing, pare brahmani liyate. So here uses the liyate, you can say merges. He merges in the Param Brahma. How the merging takes place? This is the point. That's why I took two verses together. So the merging takes place, yatha ghrite ghritam. So you have kept separated one drop of ghee. Now, or you have some amount of ghee and you are using. Then after that again you put back in a bank of ghee, in a barrel of ghee. What happens? How does it mixes? Will you be able to find out any difference? So the ghee that was outside, also ghee. It did not lose anything. And of course, then what happens? You can see the difference, absolutely no problem. He says another example, he gives the same thing also. Kshiram kshire tatha. A drop of milk. Now you put back, a barrel, in the barrel of milk. What happens? Do you able to find out? Oh, this is my milk. Sometimes ghee may be able to find out, okay? Some difference you may able to find out. Milk, impossible. And that is how it happens. Tatha yogi tattvamavahi jayate. That is how this yogi, understands and this tattvam and lives the life. That's why when we look at this milk, one story comes to my mind. Generally people always ask, how should be the relationship? Especially friendship or any relationship. We have in every Indian language, Kshira Nira Sambandhamiti. So Kshira Nira means that milk and water, how they are inseparable. One cannot live without. It's a very nice example. We have been, heard, we have been taught from the childhood. But I'll say it is also wrong. Do you know why? Yes, Kshira Nira Sambandha is really atutam. No doubt in it. As long as they have not come across heat. When milk come across heat, then what happens? Who gets evaporated first? The water says, ciao, ciao, I am leaving you. That's why any friendship, remember, even if the best friendship is Kshira Nira, still the Nira, the Jalam, the water does not stay once it is being heated up. That's why only I can be my friend. Nobody can become my friend at all. Coming back here. So here, when it is being said in this way, that then he gives also another example that how it should be also little bit different example he gives. So let us now read also. Dugdhe kshiram grute sarpi agno banhiravarpitaha tanmayatvam bhajatyeva vrajatyeva yogi lina pare pade. Says, look, when you mix dugdhe dugdham or dugdhe kshiram iti here, so in the milk you add another drop of milk or few drops of milk. What happens? Same thing also, that ghrite ghritam sarpi. What happens? And he gives another example, agno bannihi. So that means what? In big fire, small fire you add it. Then will you be able to find out? And he says this word, tanmayatvam brajatyeva. So one becomes other, thatness, that agniness, milkness, you understand, ghee-ness, waterness, that ness takes place. That is called tanmaya bhavaiti. That's why one of the best example I would write, the other say, when you are in the path of yoga, wherever you are, you imbibe those qualities. When you see people, those who are unhappy, you become unhappy. When you see people are happy, you become happy. So that is how the empathy is being developed. But generally what happens to all of us? Sometimes just observe yourself. So instead of developing empathy, we exercise sympathy. Please understand very carefully. Instead of developing empathy, we sympathize. And whenever we sympathize, we go wrong. Remember this point very carefully. In life, whenever we sympathize, makes no difference whether you, me, or anybody, we go wrong. So this empathy must be cultivated. And how can be cultivated? When I put myself in that person's shoe. They say, na, put your leg in other's shoe. Unless you put yourself in that person's situation, at least consciously, you cannot develop empathy. And if there is no empathy in me, remember, whatever I do that moment, I will be wrong. That's why learning to develop empathy. How? Understanding the situation, being with the situation. That's why great yogis do not want to interact with the society because of this reason. They can imbibe the qualities of others. In fact, if they come across a sick person, they become sick. The way they move, because accordingly it has to happen. That transparent they are. That's why here is being said, tanmayatvam brajatyeva yogi linaha pare pade iti. And when the person is completely in that way, completely observed, then what happens? Then he says, look, just read it, we'll see later on. Bhava bhayaharam dronam mukti sopana sangyakam guhyat guhyataram guhyam Gorakshena prakashitam. So now, this is something that which takes care of bhava bhaya, haru harati, that which takes away. And what is that? This called Goraksha Samhita, Gorakshena prakashitam. So this is being explained, this is being described by Goraksha, which is guhyat guhyataram. This is secret than any secrets. And of course, it is not only mere, it is also gives to Nrunam people mukti sopana sangyakam iti. Step by step. It also gives you mukti freedom. That's why this is something to be really what? Remembered. We'll see 3 more verses tomorrow.